Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Borderlands. So something occurred to me in between last recording this. It's been about a day. We have, at level 16, gotten a considerable amount of challenges done. And every time we got a challenge, we got a token that allowed us to upgrade some stat. Although none of these stats really change anything. Because the increment is exponentially, or not exponentially, probably logarithmically smaller. So I think it's just going to approach impossible to get plus 5% on anything. Maybe, just maybe, you can get it to plus 10%, but you're not getting a 50% increase or anything that would be big or noticeable. However, doing all of this would have been a lot more interesting, at least, if they had given us a single golden key for every challenge we did. And clearly, that would have been the system had they not decided to go with the concept of making you follow them on Facebook and Twitter, which the hint says Twitter, so they were definitely big into Twitter at the time. Alright, so we're trying to meet up with Tina. No fall damage unless you fall into a place you're not supposed to fall. So I believe if I go in this area, this is probably one of another section full of enemies to fight. I've totally forgotten about what the challenges are, so if there is like a cult of the vault in this area, which there is a chance, certainly, that that's the case. We're trying out this acidic shotgun. And we've just discovered Ripoff Station. So yes, definitely need to stick with the shotgun for a good long while. Gameplay doesn't really change much, honestly. Even with playing with different guns, that's this game's claim to fame, but frankly, I think they need to add something else to it. Perhaps in Borderlands 3, the idea of introducing knives, swords, pointy weapons. This guy's just not even seeing me. I've been noticing that too. We have a one-armed bandit, which the one-armed bandit is a loot enemy. Wow, level 17. That came quickly. Like, that came way quicker than I thought it would have happened. It really feels like it was only a couple of hours ago that I made it to level 16.
I still got it.
I'm having a little bit of trouble finding. So, finding the. I can just gamble while in game. You kind of would have preferred this to A, be upright, and B, not. Well, if it occurred more often, that would be nice. These guys don't stand out well enough. Even if this was a Battlefield style game where it was supposed to be realistic, I would definitely be complaining about the brownness of all this. Plus, gambling right now also means I'm gonna fill in my inventory rather fast. I can't even see if I'm hitting the right thing. And there went my one-armed bandit machine. It blew up or fell through the ground or something.
Am I good or am I good?
Hey. There's a guy right there. He's been hiding back behind this the whole time. I'd forgotten that these explosive things also drop bullets and money. Alright, seems like can take a little bit of a break now. We still haven't unlocked this. It seems ridiculously long. And let's see, if I take this, while deception is override, dash forward a short distance and do a special melee strike. I'm gonna go ahead and unlock that. Increasing movement speed is definitely a move I want to get to, but I think unlocking more ability also makes some sense. Unlike Borderlands 1, we're still, yeah, I think we've been over this before. You don't have any skill that increases your level up. That's probably a smart move on their part. Just making every character have the similar path of how much experience they would get per run through of the game. Makes it easier to balance the game, certainly. When I was playing as a Siren in Borderlands 1, I probably got higher than somebody who was playing as a soldier. It seems like there's like a loot midget or something. I guess I'm kind of happy that the one-armed bandit disappeared, though. That just makes it easier. We don't need to shoot these, I think. It's just the gas canisters and other. Looking all around. Here's the second alarm to call in reinforcements. So the train does come through here, so theoretically somebody could run over by the train. I'm not sure if it comes around enough for that to be likely to happen.
Thank you.
We still have Mordecai helping us, and until we get to that area, I guess he is just going to help us. There we go. There we go. That's how we want it to go down. We'll let that Goliath. It's kind of crazy that this is supposed to be the introduction of the concept of slagging. You would have wanted that earlier in the game, I think. And let's see if we can hit this again and call in more reinforcements.
That's how you do it.
I'm just trying to get is the Goliath. Is the Goliath still running around killing things, or did he die somehow? Here he is. So I need to convince that Goliath to come this way. Is he? Look at the guy glitching out there. I believe that Goliath did just get hit by the truck. So let's watch this guy and see if he can kill other enemies. Trying to shoot him in the leg. And see, the music stopped. I gotta get him over here. So we need. So we got a Goliath here.
I am great.
So this guy is now an ultimate badass, which I believe is the top of the line. Alright. And so there seems to be a couple more enemies.
I still got it.
And we got Mordecai saying the same thing over and over again. I'm a little surprised I'm not full on inventory yet. But I guess getting that 100 iridium and upgrading my inventory to 30 was probably a smart move. So there's some kind of submission. I'm saying some kind of subquest. We still got guns going everywhere. What's this? Let's see, data log. Let's see, let's take
You're
it.
hearing this. You just killed me. And let me just say, no hard feelings. Before you wasted me, I kept my best guns in my garage. Considering how badass you must be to have blown me away, I'd say you deserve them. I know this sounds like some sort of trap, but you're just gonna have to trust me.
Alright. So let's go do this optional mission. It looks like I'm gonna have to go. Let's look at the map. Yeah, I'd have to go way over there. Let's not do that quite yet. Like, let's move the story forward a little bit. I don't think we really need. Let's see, there's almost certainly nothing up here. This would have been where I exited, right here. So we've got this, and I'll just leave. Let's see, is this a... I would have thought this would have been a quest board, but we really don't have quest boards in Borderlands 2, do we? Let's see if we can just climb up the mountain, Skyrim style. Interesting, jumping on rocks doesn't seem like it kind of works like Skyrim. Instead, it's the smoother, flat sections. Well, there's a city that way. So we get our first calm message from Tiny Tina.
Playtime is over.
Let's see. We need to find...
Get on your goddamn knees.
We can run in the water just fine. Like, we need to find somebody for him to kill if I was gonna get him to do anything.
Or am I good?
So, I guess I can run this direction. And get this guy to kill all these people for me. Meanwhile, while the Raging Goliath is killing all the enemies for me, I can run around and try to be more efficient with my time. Look for any Vault of the Vault items. Open up as many canisters. And generally just have people spawn. Of course, going in this area may have me kill people that... What happened to the Goliath? They killed him. Interesting. I'm surprised that happened.
Prepare for die!
I'm seeing a lot of Goliaths right now, but I'm kind of glad that they're not constantly throughout the game, because they would be rather irritating to if this was the constant gameplay mechanic or the constant right way to have this happen.
I'm gonna gouge your eyes out!
You come over here and you take this guy. I don't think I have anybody else to kill, so I'm just gonna take that guy.
This going to hurt you!
I'm just gonna go and kill this. My health is too low now to play around. Also, I guess I'm not really getting challenges done, so that is a clear decision I'm having to make, where either I'm trading off using bullets and getting experience for using bullets with trying to get iridium, which frankly iridium will come. There's a tiny teeny symbol, which might mean something. There might be a challenge later on. Tiny Tina introduces a whole world of questions, Like, where are the other kids? If there are kids, one would have assumed that these were... the general idea was that most of these psychos on Pandora were prisoners brought to Pandora and forced to work. So then, where did the kids come from? You also kind of could have assumed, or probably inaccurately, that they were all too crazy or sterilized by radiation and they just couldn't have kids if they were on Pandora. I think that's one way to certainly take the idea. But with Tiny Tina being introduced, now the question is, did all the other kids simply die? Or what? You almost have to then assume that Tiny Tina is either the child of some of the very few female characters on Pandora, all of which, like, everybody in the Borderlands games are crazy. Like, totally insane. And that's kind of the joke. Or you have to, ooh, it's inside. So I was right next to her. I forgot that she was not on top of the on top of it. Which is still a little weird because I definitely want to get up there. Feels like I should be able to get up there. The only other way you could take it is that Tiny Tina is criminally insane and was shipped off with all the other prisoners. Which maybe you take that as the case. Or, I don't know, maybe they have extreme body modification. Maybe Tiny Tina is 40 years old. No, I don't think that works with the storyline. We'll pay attention to the storyline here, and I think it gets explained.
All around the stack, this plant, the stalker chased the bandit. The stalker thought 'twas all in fun.
World's deadliest 13-year-old.
Oh, hi.
So, I guess maybe the idea is that people had better sense to bring their kids to a crazy, dangerous place like Pandora, except for Tiny Tina's parents. And that's why she's the only kid that's ever introduced. But it just generally criticizing writing, this is a like gap in foundational support as far as writing. There should have been some kid mentioned, talked about, or in any way just referenced, so that you even knew kids were going to be in a game. It's not unheard of video game wise. Like, think of Gears of War, think of Halo. There's quite a few games that have no children whatsoever, just because children complicate stories and it's easy enough to write them out. But then when you take that easy avenue of writing them out of an entire universe of your storytelling, then it becomes... Oops, didn't mean to do that. I was trying to find the crouch button.
Roland told me you were coming. I still owe him for all that bud crap with General Rancid. So you gotta hijack a train, huh? Child's play. Let me introduce you to my ladies.
Butt crap with General Rancid.
I'm running over here. Run.
Which I assume that means something different from what I'm thinking it means.
This is Mushy Snugglebites, and this is Felicia's Sexo Pants. These fine-ass women's could stop that train for us, but I'm gonna need their badonkadonks first, and they got stolen by the bandits a few days ago. Go get them! Nap time!
I know Tina can be odd. But she's the most gifted demolitions expert on Pandora. Just do what she asks, and I guarantee she'll help you hijack the train and get the vault key.
So she's got a psycho mask on her face. Seems like she's well on to her way to being a psycho herself. She seems like she would be Roland's kid, but there's no guarantee that that's the case. This is the fire plant, by the way, that explodes when you shoot it. There's kind of nothing else here. I guess Mad Moxie, certainly. I mean, her kids are involved, but her kids are grown, too. This is also interesting. They have what looks like an Anthlon computer, pretty old by today's standards, done in CGI scale. That doesn't really make a lot of sense in the world that the Borderlands is set in, because you have these guns that clearly have like much smaller technology than that, so that would be really old technology. There's nothing up there. And so she wants us to get the TNT, what she's calling badonkadonks, but on to retrieve those onto those bunnies so that we can blow up the train. She's got some meals and explosives. And since there's a shop here, now would be the perfect time to play some menu hero. I really can't say that Tiny Tina shouldn't have been introduced. She's a beloved character, as I've said before, but she does complicate the story, and she has an entire bit of DLC that happens after the main story that too then adds more complicatedness to it, certainly. Alright, let's start by selling these, take this, and just, I don't even think I really need to purchase deals of the days. I've been using shotguns, and because I've been using shotguns, I have been picking up more shotguns. I assume that is how this system works. You can see there's quite a lot there. And then let's see, do we have any assault rifles to compare? We'll go ahead and get rid of that one. And this SMG is probably no good either. I think we're good. And as far as class mods, team accuracy not needed. Health regen is better. Let's see. Yeah. An increase in health regen, and that is much better than what we had. And health regen is definitely what I needed. Bomb grenade mods.
Let's just get this out of the way.
There we go.
Yes, most of my merchandise was.
And so now we're back to where we were. We will come back and deal with Tiny Tina some more. I'm not sure we ever get in here. So you have like this sort of picturesque house that you also don't really see that in Borderlands. So this may have been some of the first settlers, like an actual house being built, not just shacks and sheds. Inherently, there are definitely some questions about just how anybody lives on Pandora. It seems like it is day to day a grind of trying to kill other people for not the greatest reasons, or the greatest explained reasons. Let's see. So there's this here, which this is I'm either walking on water or the water is extremely shallow. There's a wall here.
I don't think he liked me.
So yeah, there's an area in here that I think I am just gonna go ahead and visit, because I think it really is just gonna be a side thing. Let's go ahead and look at this section, and then we'll come back and get the badonkadonks. And we may have missed a little bit over on the other side of this wall, maybe.
Nothing like a challenge and kill.
So, Mount Mole Mine. Apparently there's miner rats. And we saw the Ninja Turtle miner rat characters. But we haven't seen them be used in the overworld or anywhere else yet, so this will be an interesting move. This looks like some kind of special iridium I'm gonna have to collect.
How are you? Why are you so mean?
There you go. We've got several Goliaths. And this is a straight up area to a new section.
For my wall.
So So there's the third reinforcement. So I'm mostly trying to just stay out of the way. And something certainly does seem to electrify me, however. Did I lose my Goliath?
I will run.
Let's see.
How are you?
Let's see if we can get them to attack more people. Of course, I'm not really gaining any health throughout this whole process, so I don't even know if you pick up health actually out of chests. See, I don't think there's anything past to open it, but let's see if he gets any bigger. Should I help the other guy? too many of these. I'm gonna decide to just kill these. I've had enough of this. Apparently the miners have been picking up not a bunch of items off the ground. I think the miners have been. The audio certainly is pretty messed up right now. It's just a lot of stuff playing. A lot of noise going on. And see, they're all dropping or lighting up mining lights. Yeah, these guys shouldn't have iridium on them. They have to be picking it up from the glass. This feels pretty non-stop.
Not bad, not bad.
The question is, am I getting a lot of help because they're slagged? Because I definitely could be. I might run into some level 17 characters that are way stronger. And see, I'm trying to look here and see if there's... This is cool.
Trophy for my wall.
Get some more iridium. I feel like the game has decided I deserve to get some more iridium right now. Which I'll take that, certainly. Be happy with it. It definitely feels like messing with the Goliath has added time to this experience. Like, it feels like this conflict should have been wrapped up by now. I'm definitely in a weird position because, like, I don't have a storyline reason to be up here, and it feels kind of like the game's punishing you if you do that a lot more than the first Borderlands game. It seems like in Borderlands 1 you could easily just run wherever you want and do whatever you want. Get sort of close here. So in that I've exposed most of the map except for all of this section over there. Good to know. Just gonna drop down here. You can see all of this area is designed to not really be places where you're supposed to be. Mostly just looking for Cult of the Vault items. I'm surprised I made that. I thought I was gonna fall to my death. Alright, so now we go straight this way and try to get an idea of what's happening here.
Thank you.
See, these are Crimson Lance, like mines, which I guess the Crimson Lance are, it could be Crimson, the good guys who were called Crimson Lance, or the bad guys who were the Crimson Lance. And I guess this train, where does this train really lead you? If we were to ride this all the way that direction, I think you'd get shot. Like, interesting. Yeah. You can only get about halfway there and then you have to turn around. Which, that's not a great way for it to work. Yeah, I was complaining about the game not having a lot of people run towards you. I can't really complain about that anymore, because that last fight, there definitely felt like there was too many people, and that it went too long. Perhaps I lengthened the experience by running around and potentially having a couple different actions. There's a collectible up there, but apparently it doesn't matter. Let's run this way. Let's see. And let's kind of run over here and see Old Man Johnson's farm. We've seen, we'll walk by this to get a checkpoint. We've seen this happen. We saw TK's farm.
Adios.
Baja's TK's. So I guess we kind of know what we're doing. I don't know if it's really even particularly necessary to fight these guys. So I am. Oh, there is a challenge for shooting pods too. So I'll try to go for more of that. I don't know if this is supposed to be a Varkid farm or if it's supposed to be a farm for something else. It just got overrode with Varkids. Varkids do introduce something new and interesting. Look at all this goo, just fluid dynamics running under this section. An experiment. I feel like this was probably experimental programming. It's not running over there. Speaking of awkward programming, when you can jump in and out of an area that's supposed to be blocked off, that's, well, at least jump out. That's something. It's kind of odd there's a fence there at all. So again, you're left with the idea that I think the concept is all of these buildings are supposed to have been stripped apart in pieces of the ships that got them there. So we've got that power, and this looks like Marcus. So we've got to figure out a way to break into this place. Also feels like there's too many bullets. I would kind of prefer if they rebalance this game for more bullet efficiency and less opening boxes like this just to refill the fact that I'm low on bullets. I don't feel like I'm a terrible shot either. Nor do I really feel like you'd be really benefited if you were an expert, like pro gamer. Like if you never missed, if you were running 95% accuracy and every bullet you found hit, I still don't think the game would be any better for you. You'd still be running into a lot of things like this. Maybe it would, maybe the algorithm will give you more money and you can spend the more money gambling or buying guns. That's kind of all I think you can do with it. Door. This feels like that was gonna be a mirror at some point. This also feels like an area that doesn't really have a finished, polished story to it. How do I get out of here? Like, I can't jump and crouch through there. So if you somehow accidentally worked your way up here, I guess you're jumping out this way. They very specifically wanted you to have only one way to do it. I don't know if that was an item that was special or if that was just a random item that happened to be. There's another pile of iridium. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that the algorithm does start to give you iridium and gold once you're full on bullets. Just to slightly reward you. Feels like there might be a speedrun strategy where you're down we go, which is awkward pulling backwards to go down, and then this takes us where? It's a secret bunker. Let's see, we almost have a challenge in which we've collected $25,000. And it's like just a fast travel station. So we could get back to this point, I guess. Let's play some Menu Hero again. Do I really need to look at anything, or can I kind of just sell everything as it stands? I think I can probably just sell things. Like, I don't really feel like there's a high chance of me deciding to upgrade to a gun that doesn't have elemental on it, even if the gun stats are higher. Inherently, that just won't be the case. If I wasn't using all these golden keys, yes, it probably would be the case that I would run into some guns with higher stats that didn't have elemental elements, but yeah. So the only thing that might be worth replacing is this gun, which has a higher burn rate but a much lower fire rate, so no, it's not worth replacing either.
Doc, check back later. I'll always buy guns you don't need.
Yeah, that didn't do anything for us at all. Did I perhaps need... Did I perhaps need to come to this area before I could fast travel to the area? That would be about the only thing I could think as a reason. It's going to get all these killed. And I'm looking at the mini-map, trying to find all the enemies, but that's inherently not super helpful if I'm looking down on the ground for the Varkins. Yeah, compared to the flying insects that we haven't seen very much, they're not flying insects, but the flying birds that swoop down and they form a line and they fly a long circle and fly directly towards you and swoop down. Those characters were cool and all, but they don't play well. And so the Varkids introduce a different concept, a better idea as far as what you're doing. Man, there's a lot of little quick checkpoints. I should probably also just, since I'm playing single player, I can do this. Reload speed reduced. Gun accuracy we can increase. Gun damage we can increase. Alright, I wanted to look at challenges from, where are we, in Tundra Express? Is that where we are? Yeah, disable all of Tiny Tink's pink mines. Kill Madame von Bartholomew without any players taking any damage from her bug bombs. Those seem to be the only two challenges left. And we'll have to start that mission, I think, before we can even get there. There might be a challenge that I'm watching that is way up here. And the ability to hit A and watch the challenge and then move it to the top are inconsistent. Like, I guess I'm not watching any. Frankly, I should be able to hit A and say I'm watching like this. And see, now this is a watched one. But it should stay in the same place so that there's some kind of order and sanity in this category filtering. Do these guys really blow up? Yeah, they blow up just fine. There you go.
Warning, non-compliant.
Interesting. You can't even reach that one.
Warning, this is your last.
And can't reach that one. Interesting. Then we get back over here, and we're dealing with buzzards and the academy again. We've already been to the academy, so we kind of wasted our time here the first time. This is another perfect example.
Bitches, my big brother's about to teach you some manners. Nobody scares bushy snugglebites but Donka and lives.
Another trophy for my wall.
So,
Bushy snugglebites but Donka. She's my main squeeze. Lady's got a gut full of dynamite and a booty like how?
so the joke, of course, here is this is like inappropriate talk for a 13-year-old. It's not so extremely inappropriate that it feels creepy, but this is also the kind of joke that could shift in perception or opinion over the course of a few years. So I freed this guy, and instead of being happy, he tries to kill me. And generally speaking, I guess I really don't have to kill these guys. I could just run towards my goal, but also then that inherently just defeats the purpose of the entire game. Most of these chests have already been opened. Seems like I might not be able to get where I want to go from where I am. Yes, this would, I'd have to catch just the ledge on this rock. There we go.
Am I good?
So it's not TNT, it's actual missiles.
Bring him back here and I'll use him to make some fine-ass damsels who can hijack that train for you.
Yep. So that story's done.
Better shot when I'm drunk.
Yeah, I feel like I'd like the Goliath to come back, because when you're just back in an area and you've already done it, it stops making so much sense. You're definitely not rewarded. It definitely feels like you played wrong, this is a punishment, now you've got to waste a lot of time wandering from place to place. And so almost certainly there will be some optional game mission, unless I miss it, to go to the farmhouse. Almost certainly there will be an optional mission to go to the mines. And I don't know if I enjoy that. Barked Observatory. So this is the way up, but I've got to figure out a way to shut that down, and I think that's probably a storyline thing. If it isn't, it's actually a really, really difficult thing that I never found, because I can readily recall this this being a awkward experience where I struggled for a while trying to find a way to flip a switch. So, like, I hear the electricity. I don't see it from where I am. See it down there. Like, clearly you should just be able to crawl through that. And there's no way to the exact top. And I assume Mordecai is up there. This is the standard entrance. Let's see, I see a wire. But the wire doesn't seem like it goes anywhere. And over here is also another section that we haven't fully explored, because I know there's a mission, or I vaguely recall there's a mission that involves some of this. Maybe this is that mission.
I'm an even better shot when I'm drunk. Trap! I lied! Nobody kills me and gets away with it! Nobody! Into my eyes when I stare at you! Did I get some of my shoes?
So we've got some freezing psychos, which is apparently a new thing. Jumping out of the let's try this. Yeah, that did a lot of damage, this new attack. So, yeah, a lot of people, I guess they either ran through that door, or they jumped through this edge, or they jumped out of the chest itself. Turn that in. We can get...
Suck.
You said you suck. We can get, let's see, a gun or a better shotgun. This is a Jacob shotgun, so I wouldn't want to use it. It only has 3 bullets anyway, so I'm going to take that one. I don't think I'm going to use either guns, but might as well take one that at least has a slight chance of me using it. It's still definitely... Oh, they probably came sliding off of that edge. Definitely feels like there should be a bit of more of an experience here. And let's see, at this point, I think map-wise we've been all over this area, and kind of like Three Horns Divide, I actually need to go back to Three Horns Divide, I would guess, maybe. Oh no. See, I've been playing the game in a way that assumed we were going to come back and do some stuff in every area, and that's generally storyline-wise how you'd make a game. You'd have one reason to be here, and then you'd come back later at a much longer, later point. And I definitely recall in Three Horns Divide there's at least one section that we haven't done. Man. There's a light there that's pointing this way. There's a wire here. It seems like it goes nowhere. I suppose it really comes down to the question of how far into the game are we really? Like, are we really, really far? Or are we nowhere? Okay. This is probably not the best weapon to be zooming in on. So we've got a power generator, we've got wires, and I still can't really see where they go. And then we have this element telling me to look this way, and I don't see anything that way. It's not like that door opens. Yeah, this definitely feels like a thing that has to be storyline related. And right now we have this optional mission to turn in and this mission to continue with. I kind of wish I could zoom out and get to an overworld and look at some of the other things. Let's toggle that off. That shouldn't be on. And there's all these guns, but you might as well just immediately decide to sell them. They're nothing guns. And skill point wise, let's see, this dash forward element is nice. I don't know what would increase the execute range from 3 meters to perhaps further. Let's see. This, yeah, doesn't seem like there's anything that would change that. So why is that a modifier? There must be some kind of class mod that increases your execute range, and that's it. Next level up I will be putting points back to increasing movement speed, gun damage. 10% increase or 16% increase in movement speed is actually quite nice. It'll get this game moving a little bit faster. I'm not even sure if that's even a problem. In general, the main issue I'm having here is just that the game has burnt me out on running and gunning. Having played Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 over the course of less than 1 year, it's hard for me as somebody who isn't just obsessed about playing first-person shooters to enjoy that. I know that there is a considerable community in the video game world that play first-person shooters exclusively all the time. I'm just not one of those type of people. Anyways, it's been an hour, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me, gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.